All right, folks. Hey, we are back and good morning. Hey, welcome on back here this Tuesday morning, February 6th, live inside our Cyber Group trading room. Great to see students like Brad, Grant, John, Kathleen, Michael. Had the full house just earlier. Folks, give me a quick chat back if you can hear me loud and clear. Should be good to go, though, just like yesterday. Great to see Wendy, Brian, Leda, and all of us just joining us otherwise. Hey, Traders Talk Tuesday, right? For all of our students and members alike right here, we have our weekly workshop today, Traders Talk. Let me get the webcam up here inside our trading room there. There we go. Perfect. Great to see Joyce and Eric and Ray and Margaret, Larry. Great to see him on top and all of us otherwise. So, hey, Tuesdays every morning at 11 o'clock, we host our weekly workshop, Traders Talk. Gives all of our new students really the best outlet to go through trades that we've taken from yesterday, this morning, and really just a medley of questions that you may have. So, you could ask just on anything really about CTU, about level 3, the NASDAQ Bookviewer, level 4 on top. So that's going to be at 11 o'clock this morning, right back here. Last week, if you recall, we had a one-off. We had a phenomenal doubleheader webinar with Benzinga Pro. But we don't do that as often, right? So we will be right back here for all of us inside our trading room. Again, that'll be here at 11 o'clock this morning. We'll finish up our audio at 10:30, and then from there, I'll jump right back on. So right there, just double post in the chat board. Any questions that you got from me here, just send it right over to Josh at CTU Trading. That's simulcast on YouTube, though. So if you want to join us there on YouTube, just subscribe right to subscribe to @Cyber Trading U. I had the wrong post there. There you go. Right there on the bottom left. Perfect. All right. Josh, why are you wearing a sweatshirt in Florida? Well, two reasons why. A, it is pretty cold down here. I'm sure it's pretty cold where you are, whether it be in the Midwest or up northeast, but otherwise. Big game tonight. Butler against UConn, #1 ranked team, and we're on the road. We're probably going to get our butts whooped, but got to show a little school spirit there. So with that, hey, PLTR, this ended up making a pretty good push just here. I took my profit just earlier. For all of our students, I wrote that to you. I don't like being in pre-market trades, when I do this meeting, when I tag in for Fausto, namely. But certainly the closer we draw to 9:30, just get out. Take the money and run. So, hey, if Fausto was here, if I wasn't doing this meeting, would I still be in? Can't guarantee it, but there's a chance in terms of the cyber clock, up until the next 5 or 10 minutes here, we'll see this try and make a push. I did make a call out in the trading room just a bit earlier too. This is why it's so important to be a member in our trading room. And on top, just follow the chat board. I'll actually show you how to do a little tab to only have chat from the moderators, not even just students, but if you're looking to only follow what I'm posting and enrich our educators here, there's actually a little tab there in the chat board, and I'll show you how to do that. More or less, we're looking for resistance from the daily chart, roughly around 2030, roughly around. I gave it the ish, 2030-ish. So it's a few pennies above 2030, you could see right there. But on top of that, though, Rich, my colleague, had called out a beautiful iceberg order out there. Let's see if we can, damn, NASDAQ book here. Sometimes it times out on you. So I had it up earlier, but otherwise I'll just bring open level 4. Just makes it a little bit easier for me to explain on top. But, the 30-ish is from the daily chart. You got 607,000 share seller. So at least off the breakout here from 20, I don't like using the E word too often, easy that is. But with this already testing 20 earlier off the 8 o'clock move, and you know what? I'll go over most of this in Traders Talk coming up in our workshop. So I don't even want to give the full explanation, but basically it was nipping and gnawing that level, is retesting, and from there led to the push, right? So nice and easy trade, but hey, there's still some life left on this. And for all of us in our room, that we trade this stock off, at least often. It's not every day maybe, but certainly often news will look to call it out. And it's been right within our price range for a long time now. So I like PLTR. It's one of our favorites, actually. So I'm going to add this to our watch list just out the gate, coming off good earnings. All right. Now, hey, let me just recap some of the stocks that we had from yesterday, because this was a great pre-market one to start this meeting off with. But we had a few good ones from yesterday, didn't we? We had the MOR, which was more late morning, early afternoon, but this thing just took off. Beautiful pop, really from the mid-morning here, I guess, but ended up just moving up, heading into the early to mid-afternoon, making a higher high, and then going into the 3 o'clock move. You're looking for this to make a much better push, and it started to. We had a resistance around 18-ish, 18 and slightly above. It actually spiked there in the after hours, spiked up top there. But now it's just still kind of flat. It's up 1% technically from yesterday, but it is just flat. So I'll come back to it. It's a side list play here for us right now this morning. MOR. It had good liquidity and, still not too expensive. So I don't mind giving it a second look, but I want to see what else we could just scan for first. All right. So with that said, we had the MOR, we had BTAI, and then we had just the NVIDIA AMD combo, right? So that was kind of where my bread and butter was, at least across the late morning. BTAI, though, nice slow move, ended up making a pretty good bounce off pre-market highs there and made a higher high over time into the afternoon. But again, just pretty flat this morning. Not a whole lot happening just yet. I'll go back to my notepad here and put it on our side list, at least for now. And then finally, NVIDIA was a lot stronger yesterday than my AMD. Both were pretty good, but at least heading into the afternoon part here, NVIDIA moving back up towards its highs. AMD, hey, I told you last week, this surprised the hell out of me when they ended up lowering guidance. That actually surprised me first. But normally, my experience with lowered guidance is you're not going to see as good of a slingshot after. So I tried to take personal interest aside. I love this company. I love AMD. But with lowered guidance, I wasn't really expecting to have as good of a slingshot from the end of last week, and we actually got it. It was pretty impressive. So that's where I went more back to the mill here on AMD from yesterday. It dropped off pretty steady. I didn't short it, but I saw a pretty clear iceberg out there on the buy side at 172. And from there, basically went under and over. Good slingshot opportunity. And for as bad as the morning was yesterday, we had those trades like MOR, BTAI. The morning yesterday, if you recall, was like one of the worst mornings that I've been a part of in a long time. I know for Grant, Leda, Larry, Brian, Oliver, longtime students, Patrick. I mean, you know that. But this is at least where we ended up making a good comeback. And I got back into the black, back into the green here with this bounce. And, otherwise, the semiconductors, they're always going to be on our side list here, AMD, NVIDIA. I think that NVIDIA was actually up decent in pre-market. That's why we had more interest in it yesterday. Not as much today. Today's the PLTR show. And then outside of that, it's pretty much what we're going to scan for coming up. So let's see what we can grab. We have the TENX, and this one, of course, will at least break open Benzinga Pro. I know that Rich ended up posting the news for that just a bit earlier. Let's see what we got. So TENX Therapeutics announces USPTO is granted notice of allowance for U.S. patent. So that's basically it. It's not like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, like pharma news, but it's actually a U.S. patent application. So led to a nice little pop. You can't really trust the stock right away, especially when there's like no one out there on the order book. So I guess the one positive with there being no one out there on the order book is that it can allow the stock to potentially make a nice move, but that's more of a gamble. That's more like going to the roulette table and just throwing it blindly out there. For all these stocks that make an initial pop up, there's always a BRTX, right? So that these always come back down afterwards. It's just to say TENX led to a nice little re-break, right? It led to a nice little pop back up to make a higher high. Now, at this point, obviously, we're going to put this on our list. The hope will be that we'll see more people join the order book, at least by the time it's 9:30 or shortly after. But where you're looking on the long-term chart here, there isn't like really a level that I have in mind. What's it at right now? Like 22-ish right now? Yeah, 22. Let me just go back to the daily chart here. You're kind of looking back from September of last year, pretty much over the summer. Loosely speaking, just very quick, it's like around 21-ish. It's not even one specific price, but it dropped off so much. This could also be a reverse stock split over time. Like more recently, this could have had some sort of reverse split. This thing, I don't think, was $10,000 back in 2019. So, you know what? I'm going to add this to our watch list here, but big trees fall hard. You know that this is going to get halted on the way down or otherwise just tanks. So, take your money and run. Certainly, if I was saying that on PLTR here in pre-market. So, AGFY, we were hopeful to see this make like at least a little move. It was creeping up after 8 o'clock. It was, chopping around prior, but it was holding strong after this point. We were looking for a move up higher and just it snapped right back down. And you know what's going to happen at that point, right? If it's not going to make that big move going up, it's going to make a big move. I guarantee it. Dropping the G word and the E word here in this meeting, but I guarantee it. It's going to make a big move just the other way. All right, so PLTR, we got COHR. I think this is super low float stock, if I'm not mistaken. It's also pretty expensive. GRDI, like Girardi, Joe Girardi, like Yankees' former manager there. It's a New York thing. All right, what else we got? XPEV. Ooh, moving back up now at least. You know, some of these Chinese stocks will look to gap up overnight, you know, with the China market. So that's where you see JD. That's where you see NEO. That's where you see the ETF Yin and the other ETF FXI. Telling you. So, you know, I'm not as keen to put them on our watch list just because they gapped up, but this is moving up at least a little bit right now. It's kind of a spotty chart here, but I don't mind at least XPEV. NEO is more flat. Lee is also more, it looks like XPEV has a little more life there, at least the last 5-10 minutes, holding stronger. Watch, it'll shake right back down the second we turn away from it. No, for right now, I'll at least add this. We're more familiar with this one too. Spotify earnings from yesterday. Joe Rogan inking like a $250 zillion deal with them. Geez. I mean, well-deserved if you look at the views that he gets, but that's a pretty big company, Spotify, if you don't realize it. All right, so there's JD up 5+%. We kind of ran through this one just before. You know, again, if we have not really too big of a list, maybe I can consider it, but Eli Lilly, LLY, this is more off of earnings from this morning that I do recall, but too expensive. And otherwise, not a whole lot really that's piquing my interest from the gainer side. So we'll hop over to the losers list for Brian, Chuck, Grant, all of our students here in our chat board. Just let me know if there's anything I'm missing already. And again, let's work together as a team. PLTR still trying to push a little bit. That'll be our golden goose for the day, I think. Even on a pullback, trying, you know, look for support. I wouldn't necessarily look to short that thing, but try and look for support. Be a little patient, then look for that entry. All right. Wow. Really, not a whole lot on the loser side that's looking too good. It got a lot that's shortable. So I'm just trying to kind of weed through them quickly, see if there's anything that has good volume, good price, more of a familiar name. Boyle, familiar name. It is dropping off pretty steady. I like the activity on the chart. Even if you don't want to short it, maybe just kind of follow it down, waiting to see that ultimate bounce around like 10:30 time. So I don't mind slapping like Boyle on our watch list. It's down 5% or 5+%. Big drop here. Chuck, does that mean KOLD is going up? It does, but a little too expensive there. So long day of talking. Need the water on me. So for Sam and Brian, let me know if there's anything else I'm missing inside our chat board or on social media here. Let me just see if there's anything there. Got Vinny G on YouTube right there. There we go. A little teamwork makes the dream work, right? Boyle from him. Perfect. I just caught that chat right now, Vinny. So there we go. All right. So from Brian, he has plug on the B list with yesterday's drop. Yeah, but I'm not too interested in shorting plug. You're looking for a bounce? I mean, it's trending back up pretty nice. In that case, if you're looking for a bounce, it is trending up nice. It's not up or down a whole lot percentage-wise, but of course, it's like tradable. The only thing is on this trade, and stocks like plug and stocks like LCID are going to be too slow after a certain point. So, you know, plug looks all right. Give it a good go if, you know, you did well on it last week or so. Sam says news is that the Chinese government was going to support the Chinese stock market. So kind of like injecting more liquidity into it. We know what happens there. So, all right. So, hey, let me know if there's anything else I'm missing, though, collectively. We'll try and brighten the background up here a little bit. I was good to go, actually. Had this dimmed down a little bit. Turn that on a little bit. Hopefully that makes it a little bit brighter. But otherwise, I think that we are just about good to go collectively. So, last call, just check out Benzinga Pro, the scanner. I know that Ryan and James from Benzinga did a phenomenal webinar just last Tuesday. But, you know, here I'll look to show you what they got. Oh, that's right. The HSDT trade. That was from pre-market. That was, I guess, more of a dud over time this morning. I was very hopeful to see this make a better push after 8 o'clock. Completely forgot about this trade, actually. Wow. Did I skip over this? Yeah, I guess I kind of skipped over it. Probably just because it was just dropping there at the time. But you know what? I'm going to slip this on our main watch list. This is like a decent combination of price and liquidity where it's still pretty thin. It's very thin. It's not a level 1 or level 2 trade as far as how we categorize it. But you know what? It's very active. And as long as the spread doesn't become 15, 20 cents after the market opens up, I like this trade still. So in total, in summation, we got 5 tickers to work with, 4 stocks, 1 ETF. Of course, we'll post all of this coming up, folks. But otherwise, hey, I got about 15 minutes. I'll refill up on water. We'll be good to go just right at the market open. So 2 things, folks, really quick. On YouTube, hey, at Cyber Trading U, be a friend, tell a friend. Always look to spread the good word of what we teach here at Cyber Trading University, just following the big orders out there. Fausto should be back on Thursday, I believe. So you got me at least today, tomorrow. And with that, otherwise, if you're interested in joining our live trading room, just hit the subscribe button. And then from there, scan that QR code on the top left of the stream, get you access to the week-long trial inside our room. That includes the full rendition of our workshops, including Traders Talk today. You get all of the previous recorded editions of it from the previous 52 weeks that we've had it. But otherwise, it gives you the best outlet to realize the hows and whys of what we're doing. It's easy to just say, oh, TENX could have jumped in there at 10 and sold at 20. Oh, yeah, if trading was that easy, right? So this workshop this morning, live, Traders Talk, and recorded, well, it gives you a very good chance to really dig into the X's and O's. So I look forward to seeing everyone there. And again, I'll be back on the mic just at 9:30 for all of our students live in our trading room. Talk to you soon.